sure it's okay. So remind me, what are the attachments? What are the places if I want to go around the edges of it? Iliac crest. Okay. And then the lumbar vertebrae here. So all of these. Here's the last rib. Here's along the vertebrae. Spinous process. Transfer is probably way out here because I can go in this far before I hit resistance. Okay. So transfers. And then this is where I find people tend to have the most pain with it when it's tight, is all along the top of the iliac crest. There's one muscle that gets tight up along the top of it, which is QL, quadratus, and another one that gets tight just below the top, which is gluteus medius, which we'll come to on the list, I think. So now I could work QL just by spending a lot of time, especially along the iliac crest. I can do a lot of thumb over thumb. It really, I feel most tension here in the middle, so that's erectors more. I'm not feeling any particular adhesions here. Some people develop little nodules along here that I want to talk about sometime. Okay, so now I'm going to go in, and this would be a deformation stretch of the QL. This is, I've probably never done this on you, Stephine, and it might be a little deep, but I'd like them to see it and try it. So I'm going to put my fingers under it, my thumbs under it, and my fingers over it, and see if I can actually grasp it like this, kind of like you did on each other on your sides this morning.
You're trying to grasp Q out.
Yeah.
Q out.
Yeah.
And you also get some size too.
Yeah. And now if I've got it, I'm going to move my hands around just a little bit to kind of stretch it out. And I think I do have a little muscle in there. It might feel intense. What does it feel like?
It doesn't hurt at all.
Okay, good. Great. But I think I do have it. I feel like I don't have just skin. Okay. So you could do that. Most people don't need that most of the time, but every so often that hits the spot for someone. Okay, what do I have next?
How do you, Leora, how do you be cautious about the organs that are down there?
Once I'm this low, most of what's there is the intestines. And the main thing with them, and this is true also if you were doing the coming in from the front to the psoas, if you go in slow, they slide out of the way as you go. So just don't go in fast.
Yeah. Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, good question. Okay, what was next? Glute medius. So I'm right down here already. So I don't in real life do this very often. I just want you to try it out so that you know how, when occasion, when you do have someone with that. Glute medius, I was starting to do this already. I just do a lot of thumb over thumb, just under the edge of the sheet. When my thumbs get tired, I can do fingers. I want to be listening so I'm not poking or going too deep too soon. It took me a while before I started doing this because I was really taught in massage school, don't cross the barrier of the sheet, drape it to here. And then I had this older gentleman, and I'd been working on him for years and way too shy to cross that barrier. And he kept saying low back pain, and I kept not nailing it. And finally I said, show me where, point to it, and it was here. And so it's like, I'm not going to do him any good unless I go there. So of course you can work through the sheet, that's one layer. And you can do some pin and stretch, which we'll do next time, or on the lower body day. But there's some things you can get best by muscle stripping. And so I do this much more than I ever used to. And I haven't had complaints, but I don't usually think to ask, is this okay? Maybe I should.
You totally should.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You should do it, should ask, or both?
Yeah, you should ask.
I should ask.
Yeah.
Okay, so that felt a little like, oh, that's a little personal?
No, I liked that.
You mean I should do
Yeah,
it?
you should do it.
I should do it.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm saying you should do the glutes. I'm
Okay,
all over it.
yeah. Yeah.
Can you bring the drape? I think I bring my drape line down probably
that's-
another inch.
Yeah, so one way you can do that, if you want to make sure that you don't expose anything here,
Right.
is that you can bring one side down at a time, like that. And then maybe even like that. And if you want, you can pull this end up and then you can get it even farther. So that's something you can do too. So whichever way you feel that you get better access and they're more comfortable. Yeah, so you can do that too. I'm trying to get more on my fingers here. And that would let me get the lateral part of the gluteus medius. And if you have somebody where you've been doing everything you can for this muscle and it still isn't going away, I don't know if you get this when you learn hydrotherapy, but cold stone or a piece of ice applied, and you do a little bit of stripping with the cold stone or ice cube. Remember those proprioceptors, those sense organs? It startles them into letting go. They're like, all I feel is cold, I don't know what's going on. And then they will let you work the muscle. So it's not just like icing it, because that will let you work the muscle because it stops resisting. So that's my last resort if nothing else is working there.
There's a piece where they do a demo. I don't know if Dr. Joe does it. He did it for us and you're doing hot and cold stones, whole routine.
Yeah, so that's a virtue of a cold stone.
So sciatica would be included in the lower body.
Yes, we'll
portion.
talk about that 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
Okay.
Would this be an area?
Not so much because
medius?
the sciatic nerve it's more maximus and piriformis. It comes out from the edge of the sacrum that way. So if I'm up here and on the side, I'm not getting it as much. Let me see the angle of your neck. Does that feel okay? Can you
Yeah,
turn it
it's
down a
good.
little?
No,
Okay.
it's not. It's just the ridges of the little cover.
Oh,
good.
okay. Does it help if I pull on it one way or the other?
No, I think I'm pulling it down this way helps.
Oh, that
most.
helps. Oh, that makes sense. Okay,
IT
thank you.
band.
IT band we'll get to in 2 weeks also, and that's also related to piriformis. Okay. What's next after gluteus? Psoas. Okay.
And stretch through lumbar erectors.
Okay. I might. What's going to be after that? I might want to say.
Lats,
Okay.
passive stretch, pin stretch, stretch and strip.
Why don't I go ahead and do psoas? Sometimes I do this through the sheet. But we can do it this way too. So let me warm it up a little bit more. I'm going to do the right side because that's where I think it's tighter. I might have this whole thing backward. Because maybe QL wasn't tender here because that's what's on this side. In fact, I might try that for just a second just to check it. No, I didn't warm up as much here, but is this any more tender than the other side? No, okay. So psoas is going to be about here, but it's coming from the front of the vertebrae, remember? So it doesn't actually start till maybe this depth. This depth, which is just in front of QL, which is about this depth. Okay, so remember how you could sort of feel it when you did what I'm about to do. So